Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Sorry,
How are you?
I'm good. What about you? Thank you.
Doing good. Welcome to my class. My name's Oscar. What
Thank
is your name? Is it
My name is
Shaheen?
my name is Shaheen. I'm from India.
All right, Shaheen. Very nice to meet you today. Thank you so much for having a class with me, a restoration today. Welcome to my class. And
Thank
well, since this is your first class with me, can you please tell me a little bit more about yourself? You're from India. What city in India?
I'm from Maharashtra.
Maharashtra. Oh, okay. Beautiful. Yes.
Have you been to India?
Uh-huh. No, no, but one day it would be amazing to go. I haven't traveled too much, but it would be amazing to travel. I've tasted Indian food and it's one of my favorites, but only here in America.
Okay. You may have
Yes.
Indian restaurants there.
Yeah, a lot. It's so delicious. I love. It's one of my favorite foods.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
Yes. Exactly. And well, and then tell me a little bit more about what you do, like what you're doing at the moment.
I'm working. I'm running a
Uh,
school, and today I have booked a class with you to learn business English.
okay, perfect. Yes. And what is your job at the moment?
I'm working as an administrator.
Administrator. Yes. Okay, very good. And well, so you want to learn more English to for the business purposes, right?
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, yes, I have experience with this business English. I have a lot of materials that we have that we can try, and
Okay.
yeah, I think that if you want, we can see here different examples of different situations that may arise at work and how you can talk about them in English and yeah, everything like that. All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, so Shahen, tell me a little bit more at first, like if you have been here on Cambly seeing any of the topics here of the lessons related to business. I know that you've been here since September. Is that right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
haven't seen any topic till now about business English. I'm
Okay.
focusing on my pronunciation and sometime I'm
Okay.
practicing IELTS.
Okay. Okay.
Before
Perfect.
I had booked a lesson for business English, but unfortunately, teacher was completely unaware about business
Oh,
English. Before
yes. Yes.
before booking lesson, I always check teacher's profile what
Yes.
he is good at or what they are helping student with, and then
Yes.
only I book that specific lesson with that intention in mind that I want to
Right.
learn.
Right. Right. Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. Well, just so you know that there's a lot of materials we can check. And here, especially here on Cambly, there's a great, very, how do you say, like, very variable, like, sorry, very diverse section here about business with different topics. Maybe you have seen some of them, maybe not, but I will show you a little bit. And on top of that, I do have a lot of books that I like to use related to business. Like I have
Okay.
books from Oxford University, from Pearson University, from like different sources that we can do a lot of things with. So
If
uh,
you have it is in PDF form, you can share with me.
video, you mean?
PDF.
Ah, PDF. I'm sorry, but I don't have it in PDF at the moment.
Okay.
If I find something similar, I would give it
Okay.
to you for sure. But at the moment, those things are usually maybe they're available to purchase through the website, through the Oxford website or Pearson website.
Okay.
So
I
yeah,
think books are available on Amazon and Flipkart as
yeah,
well.
sometimes, yes. I think usually they're available in the university website as well, I think. So I will give you the information as well about the author and but first, we don't need to start seeing the books. I usually like to see first the materials here on Cambly because it's very complete and it's like an introduction, right? So I like to
Okay.
go over it first, kind of like seeing the most important things. Usually the materials or the lessons are very extensive because They have a lot of examples and words, and maybe you will be familiar already with a lot of things. So we don't need to go over the things you already know, right? So we can skip the things you already know and go over the few details like expressions and examples of real life that you have had in the past. All right. So let me give you an example. Let me start with this. We're gonna start with one moment. I'm gonna open it, and you're gonna tell me if it's um, if it's familiar with you, if you have seen it or not here in
Okay.
class. So have you seen this lesson before?
No, I can't see anything.
At the moment,
Yeah,
you don't see anything right now.
meeting. Yeah,
Meetings?
I can see
Okay, you see
slides.
it now. Have you seen that before here on Cambly?
It's just a title, meeting, nothing else.
Okay, okay. Well, but I was just trying to see if you have even seen the title or if you have even seen anything like that before.
Meeting, no.
No? Okay. All right. So just to let you know that these lessons usually are very similar in that you usually have a few questions in the beginning that are meant to start a conversation, right? I want to start a conversation with you and kind of like listen to the way you speak and help you if I see that maybe I can. There are some details that I can help you with. There are some grammar tips, right? In this case, the first ones are about time conjunctions, and if you're already familiar with those, we can continue, right? We can just skip them. We have a few words of vocabulary to check. And the most important thing about that is the discussion part, because there are a lot of tips that you can follow in your real life that are going to be really helpful for your own experiences, for your own business experience. So we're going to have a different activities, a lot of things, and yeah, this is gonna be mainly what the lesson is gonna be about. All right.
Okay.
All right. Then it says here. All right. So to warm up, we're gonna start with a few questions, and just so you know, there's no time limit. All right. So don't worry because it's just the first part that we need to continue with the next one quickly. Here on Cambly, there's really no time limit in the lessons, and I
Yes.
always like for my students to take their time when they are answering the questions or when they're telling me something, because that is exactly when I can pay attention to the way they speak and if I can help them in some areas, you know? So,
Okay.
and also to memorize things better. I think that to memorize things, you need to spend a little bit longer, a little bit longer
Yes.
too, right? Yes. Perfect.
Yes.
All right. So if you can tell me a little bit about the last business meeting you attended, and if you want to give me a few details, like what was on the agenda, meaning like what was going first in the beginning of the meeting, what was scheduled and planned beforehand, what was the goal of the meeting, and who is it that attended and who led the meeting.
Okay. I have an experience of meeting, but in my school.
Oh, yes. Perfect.
Yeah, we all staff were there in my meeting, and
Yes.
everybody was attending except non-teaching staff.
Yes.
Whole teaching staff was involved in that meeting, and agenda of meeting was how to maintain the quality.
Okay.
It was on the quality. So goal was that after attending that meeting, teachers should update themselves and improve themselves. Whatever I have asked them to do in the meeting, they should implement in practical classroom.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
Perfect.
it was it was the
Practically.
agenda and
Yes.
my goal of the meeting, and I was the person who was leading the meeting,
Wow.
and I had made all the points very clear that what I expect from them,
Yeah.
and I had made a clear plan that how they will execute all those things and what are the responsibilities of teachers, supervisors, and non-teaching staff. So I had mentioned it very clearly. I told them that how to check the homework, how to give them the class work, and whenever suppose students do not complete their work, in what time you should call parents and you should interact. and it was a separate time for them. And for weak student, we have allotted a separate time to learn them, especially students who are coming from remote area, rural area. Their parents are not that qualified, so we were helping them extra. And that kind of things I had planned, and I made my teachers understand very well. And I think almost to 90% of the time they executed it, and they maintained the quality, and it works.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Yes. I'm so glad. Yes. In everything from one meeting, right? Everything changed from
Yes.
one meeting. That's amazing. Very
No,
important.
actually, I used to conduct meetings twice or thrice in a month,
Okay,
but
to kind of like
sometime, but
to
sometimes
follow
people
up.
are like, if I, sometime, if suppose today I tell something to staff,
Uh-huh.
they'll follow it for 1 week or more or less, and
Yeah.
again they need that repetition. Uh,
Yes, yes, yes. Like
what I had
training,
told,
training, right? Yes.
training.
Yeah, it is
So
like that.
I have to keep in check with them that are
Of
they
course.
following or not.
All right, all right.
Because sometimes it's not possible for me to go into the class and check
Yeah,
all the things.
of course.
So
The supervise, yeah. And are you familiar with the I apologize. Sorry. I have a lot of classes, so my throat sometimes gets a little bit like scratchy. So yes.
okay,
So do you know like follow when you use the term follow up to follow up with something? Have you ever used it before? Follow up?
yeah,
Okay, okay.
follow
Just checking, you know, like it's a common
follow up,
uh
feedback.
right, right, right. Exactly. So follow up meetings would be applied to your in this case to the follow up, the ones that you're talking about, like the meetings that were to check what you already saw, but you're just checking if that was like done correctly and supervising every time they implemented those techniques and those methods. All right, perfect.
Yes,
Amazing, amazing. Well, it looks like you are the kind of person who likes to lead, like to be a leader, and this is great. All right, so we're gonna have a leader kind of topic after, right? You know, like later. But yeah, very good. I've been listening to the way you are speaking, and you speak very clearly with a lot of with very great structure. You know, so I'm listening to that right now. I'm glad that I'm having to that I can listen to all the little details. And yeah, I think you're doing excellent right now. Your English is great. And here, like I said, like anything that I can help you with here, I will try, all right, with little details. So you gave me excellently every answer perfectly. And just so you know, when people refer to the agenda, I know you told me that what was the plan. Usually when you say there's an agenda, it means that there's a plan. But also, just you know, the agenda means like the literal agenda, right? Like the
points,
timetable.
highlighted points.
Yeah, the timetable, like what will happen in the beginning, what will happen in the middle, at the end, in between, you know. So it's also that. So usually when somebody would ask about your agenda, you can tell them about, okay, well, at 12:30 the plan was to open the meeting like this, right? The second thing was to see the objectives, right? And the third one was to kind of like use some examples. So you know, like the agenda is kind of like the timetable of things
Yes,
that are going to happen in order, like an itinerary.
yes.
Perfect. All right, excellent. So now let me continue with the next slide. All right. So the next slide is going to be like a little bit about grammar and checking just if you are familiar with these conjunctions, right? I am sure you are because it says here something simple like before, after, or until as connectors for two different ideas, right? So if you have different
Okay.
ideas like one first I do this, then I do that, right? So it's the same thing, right? First and after. So before something happens, this will happen, or this will happen before this happens. So I'm sure you know already how to organize that, right? I mean, I don't think you have any questions about it, do you?
No.
Yeah, and you use also the words when, once, and as soon as connectors of time already. Like once something is done, this can be done. Once this happens, the next thing can happen. Have you used the word once in this sense too before?
Yes,
Okay,
most
perfect.
of the
All
time.
right, perfect. So you don't have this is not like so this is not like new information for you. You already know this, right? Like I said, there are going to be some
Yes.
things that you already know. The same thing with the list of the vocabulary expressions, right? So here, I was just giving you an example, but this is for people that never seen that before. So since you know, like we can continue. So here, as
Yes.
again, like we see a lot of different words. Just in case you're not familiar with one, you can tell me. But I'm almost
Yes.
sure you know all these, right? Is that right?
Okay, let's see.
Yes. Agenda, colleague, you know? So do you think you're familiar with all these?
Yeah, agenda, goal, who leads meeting, attend. I'm familiar with all those things.
Perfect, perfect. All right. You know how to pronounce this word, right?
Yeah. Agenda, attend, lead, goal, meeting.
Okay, one moment. I think we're seeing something different because I don't see the other words you say. Sorry. So let me just go back.
Your first slide is there. I cannot see next slide. Your
Ah,
first slide is there.
oh, okay. So you couldn't see the next slide, only the first one. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, so sorry, Shaheen. So let me see if I can do something right now to help you see it because I'm already in a different slide now. So you don't see anything
Okay.
from agenda, colleague. Do you see it everything now or not yet?
No, only first slide that let's get
Ah,
started.
oh, okay, I understand. Is it okay if we can refresh this page? Maybe trying to make this work?
Yes, yes, of
Okay,
course.
thank you so much.
Yes,
Let
of
me
course.
try. All right, Shahin,
Mm,
do you see?
now I can see only a blank page. Nothing is there on this page.
Really? Oh, this is so frustrating. Anyway,
Yes, yes, now I can see. Now I can
now
see.
you can
Idioms.
see? Okay,
Idioms.
okay. Well, I was meant to go one back, one before, so let me go to the last one. Can you see the other one? It says vocabulary.
No.
You still see the idioms?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
Don't
now
worry about it.
I can see vocabulary.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Agenda,
All right.
league, decision, feedback, proposal, task, brief, to collaborate.
All right. Perfect. Perfect pronunciation. And you know all of these? You know all these words?
Yeah, agenda means the list or object of the meeting, that main point of the meeting. Then
Mm-hmm.
colleague, the people who we work with. Decision means after discussion of meeting or any point when we conclude to a decision, it's
Right.
decision.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
Feedback is suppose you have given some work to the employees and we ask them how much they have done or how they have completed it. It's a feedback.
Yeah.
Then
Yes.
proposal is like if suppose you have an idea and you kept in on the table or in front of your colleague or your boss.
Yes.
It's the proposal, and task is the work if you have given task to your employees or anyone else. And brief,
Yes.
it's a short summary.
All
Make
right.
it brief. And
Yes.
collaborate means it's like assistant or assist or collaborate. I think meaning is here a group of order to
Yes.
achieve or do something. It's like help or cooperation of the colleague,
Yeah.
collaborate.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you can use the word collaborate to say that you are working alongside someone else, right? Basically, collaborate means to work alongside or work together with anyone, right? So you can
Yeah,
use that as like,
like
even if it's
assist,
like a, sorry?
like assist.
Yeah, like assist, but also just basically like just collaborate, just do some work with someone else. It doesn't
Okay,
necessarily mean assist, like in the sense of assisting someone who is doing most of the work, but
okay,
also it means like that both people or both parties can be doing the same amount of work, right? So to collaborate is like you can either do any kind of work, right? The same amount of work, or less or more, but basically just work towards the same project, right? So there are two parties or two companies working towards the same project or the same objective, or there are two people collaborating for the same goal, for the same project, right? So it's just like more general, right? To collaborate,
okay,
not only about assisting, but also just working together towards one goal or one objective, you know?
okay,
Another way to that I would wanted to explain to you, the word brief, it's something short as a noun, right? As a noun is like a short summary or a short brief or something, but also it is an adjective that you can use, right? To use for anything, right? This can be brief. The meeting can be brief. The time can be brief. Did you know how to use it as an adjective as well?
no, time can be brief.
Uh,
I don't know about it.
Yes. Okay. Well, now you know, right? So you can use the word brief as an adjective to say that something is brief, Something is brief, like this meeting will be brief. The vacations will be brief, only only a short amount of time, right? Only a few
Okay,
days. Or you see, so you
brief
can use the word
vacations.
brief. Yes, you can
Yeah.
use the word brief as to say that something is very short in time, all right? Or very
Okay.
quick, all right? And the other thing I wanted to tell you, and this is not because you don't know, but just a little extra note that when people use the word colleague, just so you know, it doesn't necessarily like I think the definition here is incomplete because just so you know that colleague is a person that does the same thing as you do, right? If you are an engineer, the person is an engineer too, and he can work at a different company, right? But he's your colleague because he does the same kind of things you do at work, like he does.
I didn't tell you this meaning like that. I just thought that in a same office when people work
Yes,
together, so
yes, I
I
know, I
use
know.
colleague in that
Yes.
sense.
Yeah, and it says here, this is the definition that we see here, but I think this is sometimes, some things here on Cambly can be a little bit incomplete. So that's one of the reasons that I want to make it clear for you about the real meaning, as a native speaker. So yeah, I apologize. Sometimes there are some things here on Cambly that may be
Okay,
incomplete.
suppose a person is not working in school with me in the same
Uh-huh.
school, but
Yes.
he or she is working somewhere else, but they
Yes.
are working like me, means we are
Yes.
working, our work is same. So can
Yes.
I means say that person is colleague?
Yes, yes, she's my colleague because she does the same thing as I do. Yes, like
Okay.
basically the person who
First
studied
time I come
the
to know
same
about
thing.
it.
Yeah, exactly. There you know. There you go. So a colleague usually is a person who does like the same things as you. Like if you are a teacher, or if I am an engineer, or if I am a designer, I say, "Oh, you're my colleague." You're a colleague, regardless of where you work at or if you're in the other side. Yes, you can call your coworkers colleagues as well, because that's like sometimes. But the other way of saying colleague is a person who does the same thing, even if you don't work together or at the same company, right? So, another word to say for people who work at the same place as you or to work with you is coworker. I don't know if you heard of that expression before.
Yeah, yeah, I
Coworker.
knew coworker.
Yeah.
Yes,
So you
colleague,
see, like, there's a
coworker.
little bit of a difference between colleague and coworker. Coworker can be a person that does other things, right? If you're a teacher, well, they can be like administrative. If they're administrative, they can do other things and they can work at the same place, and they're your coworkers. So
Okay.
that is the main difference between like coworker and colleague. And colleague, like I
Okay.
said, can be a person who is in the same rank. Like they it's kind of like they graduated from the same school, from the same degree as you did. You know.
Okay.
All right, perfect, perfect. So let me continue with the next slide because I think that what follows is a little bit more important as well because these are expressions that people,
Idioms.
uh-huh, yes, exactly.
Idioms.
Idioms, you know, like you are familiar with idioms, right? With expressions that people use normally in English, right? That at the same time, I think that every language has their different set of idioms, right? Like they're like that can be similar to English, right? So in this case, I was going to say that that to get down to business is one expression, right? I don't know if you ever heard it before. Have you ever heard?
No, I haven't.
Yes. Okay. So in this case, so that the expression is to say that even when you're after, when you have done like when you have, let me tell you, when you have planned or talked about something too much, too long enough, you say, okay, now let's start to work on it, right? Let's start to work on it. Let's start to let's begin what we just talked about, right? So you say, let's
Hmm.
get down to business. All right. So now, okay, so we
Yes.
already planned everything. So now let's put it in practice. Let's get down to
Yeah.
business, right? So basically, to get down to business means put something in practice, like, really, let's get busy, let's get started, let's get to work, pretty much. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? So it's
Yes.
another
Yes.
way of saying, let's get to work, let's get down to business. All right, people, let's get down to business. All right? Does it make sense to
Yes.
you?
Yes. Yes. Of
All
course.
right. Okay, perfect. Now, the second one that I want to teach you is show of hands. But I know that the verb show is a verb, right? And then in this case, we are going to use this whole expression because it's more commonly used like that as a noun, right? The whole thing, show of hands, we're going to use as a noun. And basically, we're just going to ask people to raise their hands if they think in one way or if they want to vote or if they want to participate, right? So participation, just asking for participation, for people, right? So by a show of hands, or can I have a show of hands of the people who want to
It's
vote
a
for
kind of show that agreement. We are agree
right,
for the same
exactly.
thing.
Yes, exactly. Like, can I get a show of hands of who is going to work here tomorrow and who's going to work during the weekend? And then you see people doing this or people keeping their hands down, right? So, but you use it. You don't say, somebody showed their hands. You're not going to use it as a verb. You're going to use it as a noun, right? So, I
Okay.
need a show of hands, or can I get a show of hands, or can I have a show of hands? Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
You okay.
Yes.
All right. So you get the idea. Now the next one
Yes.
is used as a verb, right? So you can use it in the past, in the future as a verb as well. So I need to touch base, or I have to touch base, or I touched base yesterday with you, or I need to touch base with you, right? To touch base means to get together with a person or talk about it with one person or a group of people, kind of like you said, like the follow-up meetings, right? I'm going to touch base to see how people are doing now, right? So we already had the meetings, but now I need to touch base. We need to get together. We need to gather to talk about what they're doing at the moment, right? To just
For
like get an
updation.
update. I'm sorry?
Yes. For updation.
Yes, exactly. To get an update, to update someone about what they are doing at the moment, like to see if they're doing well, if they're needing any help from you, or if they want to do something like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes,
All right, perfect.
yes,
So I think that now we're almost just 1 minute in. Like we're about
yes,
to
yes,
have time is almost up. So I hope you
yes,
enjoyed this class, Shaheen. Like
yes,
anytime
yes,
I can follow up with a few suggestions. I hope you can practice these expressions that we just said. This is new,
yes.
right? New information for you. So if you can give yourself a few examples, it's gonna be better for memorizing. I know this is the first class, so usually it's like an introduction, and then after we can continue. All right.
Yes, yes. If I'll plan to book another class, I'll message you
Thank you so much,
prior.
please. Yes, and if you can do it as quick as possible every Friday when I open my calendar, because it gets
Okay,
like my calendar gets full pretty quickly, sometimes,
okay,
and like there's so many students now, especially because of the pandemic, because of December. So, all right, Shaheen, very nice to meet you.
okay, okay.
All
Thank you.
right, I
Bye.
hope you liked it. See you next time. All right,
Yes, yes, sure. Okay, okay.
bye.